Okay, let's talk about that mustard seed faith. You can talk about the mustard seed itself for a minute or two and see where that can take us. The size of a mustard seed. I looked up just how big a mustard seed was and looked at some of the math behind it. So this is not a math lesson, but it'll make things clear. A mustard seed runs between 1 and 2 millimeters in diameter. And in 1 millimeter, there is 2 million atoms. But a mustard seed is a sphere, so we have to look at the volume of it and see just how many are in there. And for 1 millimeter, it comes up to 8 million. So we're going to take 1.5 millimeters as an average size, and that gives us 12 million atoms. 12 million atoms in a mustard seed. One atom split is a nuclear reaction. A nuclear reaction that, if controlled, can power cities, and it goes on forever until it burns itself out. And can also make a nuclear bomb that is very destructive, extremely destructive, pretty much the most destructive thing we know. So if we use that mustard seed for good, it brings us power. If you use the mustard seed for bad, it'll bring destruction. And we see that in our faith and the way we speak. When we speak negatively and without faith or using the wrong faith, we are creating a thing that is destructive. It could be destructive to our lives. It could be destructive to another person. But it's a terrible thing when you say something that with mustard seed faith, it's bad. If we say mustard seed faith with good intentions, with things from above, what possibilities lie there? If with the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain, and there is 12 million atoms in a mustard seed, each splitting with the power to do amazing things, what are you capable of? What are you capable of when you speak those words? Speak things into existence. If you're listening to God, if you're still enough to put down those earthly things and fully understand or know God and love, you can do amazing things. You can move mountains. And everybody's got a mountain in front of them. I had a couple in front of me for this last couple of weeks, and they were kind of bringing me down. I was getting out of my headspace, getting out of that stillness and into my problems. And one was time. Time had seemed to get away from me, working 100 hours a pay period for 6 weeks now. Really, it just wore me down. And I had that mountain in front of me. The other one, as some of you know, is a seizure disorder. And I'd had a couple of seizures, and that stopped things cold. So I have that mountain in front of me too. And this morning, when I got down and prayed, I asked God to show me a message that can help me and help other people. And he showed me the parable of the mustard seed. So that's why we're talking about it today. The disciples had a man bring them a child who had a demon, and the disciples tried to cast him out and couldn't do it. So the man took the child to Jesus, and Jesus cast the devil out without a problem. And the disciples asked him why they were unable to do it. And he said, you have little faith. You don't have enough faith with you right now. And then he said, if you have the faith the size of a grain of mustard, you can move mountains. And when when you think about that, it seems daunting that you could move a mountain, get it out of your way. And it's an amazing, amazing thing to think. If you think of the power that's in a mustard seed, with one atom being a nuclear reaction that can light cities and regions for years. But now you've got 12 million atoms, all with that same energy, all with that same power. That's the kind of power God's given you to do things, to move mountains. If you've got that much power, you can easily move the mountain in front of you, the obstacle, the thing that's keeping you from God. You can help other people move their mountains and show them your faith and speaking life and truth to them, and by listening to God's call, what he has for you, and what he wants you to do. And a big part of that, again, is being still and knowing God. Putting down those earthly things that could cause destruction and fully understanding love. That's the power of love. God tells us through Jesus that we have the faith of mustard seed. And that faith is 12 million atoms strong. So God is telling you, or love is telling you, that you have immense power. And that's what we need to look into. We need to look at the power that's behind that and why we need a mustard seed faith, and what it can do for the positive when we speak to that mountain to move it, but also what it can do for the negative. If we're speaking negatively, we're still speaking, and we're saying to the situations in front of us, grow, because mustard seed will create a bush that creates more mustard seeds. And if they're all rotten, that's what the outcome's going to be. If they're all wonderful, it's going to have wonderful outcomes. And that's where we have to look. Thanks for listening. I know this one's a little short, but we're going to get back on track as these mountains move and see where we can go with this. Messages are still coming quickly, and I need to get out of my head. That's the one thing. Get out of my head, get rid of the problems, stop thinking on them, and think on things above. So God bless. Have a great day. And some of you may have noticed that there's light behind me. Call it a new day and a new mustard seed, and let's get working on this. We need it. We need it in the country, and we need it in our lives. Have a great day. God bless. And always remember to be still and know.